Hi guys, and welcome back. Just here with a bit of a chit chat. I haven't had one for a while. Didn't know if I'd make one again for a couple of months, but thought I'd come on tonight. I've also got a couple of projects that I've been working on that I'll share with you. The first one being these wire-edged ribbon angels. Now, I had a heap of this ribbon left over from last year, so I just tried a new one. I have done them slightly different to what I did them last year. I didn't use hot glue. These are what I've made this week. Only made 2 so far. But I will come on and show you how I do them. They're so simple, so easy. You can put fishing wire on them to hang them, make them into decorations to hang on the tree. You can use like floral wire around the neck to make a stem and a little thing on the top to make them place settings. Or you can just use them as shelf sitters. All they are is the wire-edged ribbon, which is just that, the gift ribbon. I've used, I think they're 10mm. They're either 10 or 12, but I'll let you know when I do the actual tutorial. Glass beads and silver pipe cleaner. I used to make them last year. I was making them with the hot glue gun this year. I thought I'd give it a go using my normal glue that I love, this one. What is it? Helmer Premium Craft Glue. It's the one I swear by. And I actually think they've turned out much nicer with the wet glue rather than the hot glue. So yes, that's what I was making earlier this week. So they're the 2 new ones. And I'll also give you the width of the ribbon. This one was a narrow ribbon, so it's made little angels. If you use the wider ribbon, you'll get bigger angels. I've also been working on a Christmas present. Now, as far as I know, my cousin doesn't watch my channel, so I'm going to share the project with you. If she sees it, she sees it. That simple. This is what I've made for her. Just using the wood letters and some cooking buttons that I've cut the back off and glued on. It hasn't got anything in it yet. The spine, the back. I had a notebook that had really thick card, and I cut that up. Then inside, I couldn't figure out how I was going to get it together, so I've used double ribbon and then added these bits to tie it up. Now, this cream cardstock I had here and here as well, and then I decided I didn't like it. I didn't like the way that, because I had the ribbon sitting on top of it, I didn't like it, so I've now added the white cardstock. I haven't added any here yet because I'm not sure how I'm going to attach the pages or whatever I'm going to put in it for her to have her recipes on. But it will stand up like that. Like that. And it has got a nice wide spine. So, I mean, it can open way up, and still, she could even, if she filled it, she could have it like this, and still the ribbon will tie up. I wanted it so that it was flexible, so that she could add lots if she wanted. Like, I know I think she's signed for a unit or something, like a house, flat, apartment, whatever you call them. So she'll be moving in a couple of years. It hasn't been built yet, so it'll be a few years. But I thought that was a nice way, like something that she can keep and take when she moves out of home. I've used the I didn't have any, the wood didn't have any apostrophes, so I've used the Peppermill as the apostrophe for her name. So that's the third thing. Oh, and I use felt under the fabric, felt and fabric. Put the felt down, then the fabric, and you can see I've mitered the edge and the corners. So I thought, I don't yet know how I'm going to add the pages. I think I've already said that. I've got a few ideas in mind. Not sure. But I knew what I wanted the cover to look like. I knew what I wanted the cover to be. I knew I didn't want it much bigger than that. I think it's like 7.5 inches by 7. Something like that. Because I know the pages, these pages, which are a bit short of the actual cover, they were cut at 7.25 by 6 3/4. So that's what I've been working on. I've got a lot more that I need to get done this weekend because there's a few parcels of Happy Mail. Sorry, I'm just going to stick the tape down. There's a few parcels of Happy Mail I want to get out to hopefully get to their destination by Christmas. But as I said in my video earlier this week, my motivation to craft is almost non-existent at the moment. My motivation to do anything at the moment is almost non-existent. I was going to give up on making videos, but my kids won't let me, especially my eldest, Jarrett. He just says to me, Mum, you've worked hard, you've made friends, don't give it up. So that's why I'm back. I've had a shocking week, and I'm going to admit I've had a shocking week. I don't know why. I honestly couldn't tell you what actually was shocking about it, but it's been a bad week for me. As I said, no motivation, but depression and lack of motivation sort of go hand in hand. I've learned that over the years. I can always tell when my depression's bad, my house is a mess. Although this week my house couldn't be a mess, even though I was feeling pretty low, because I had a rental inspection on Tuesday, which went really well. Because it was a new lady, because the real estate agents we were going through has merged with another real estate, so it was a new rental manager or property manager, and I was stressed because my last one was horrific. To the point where I got told that there was dirt on the path out the front and I needed to clean it. So this one, she's lovely, but that was a big pressure on me on Monday. Then Corey and I had a massive fight Monday afternoon. I think just before I did the video, him and I had a massive fight. So that probably answers a bit why Monday I was down. Tuesday's when she came and did the inspection. That all went well. Yeah, Wednesday night the boys went with Mum to see Paul McCartney. They had a ball. While they're out having a ball, I was sitting here bawling. And I don't know why. I honestly cannot tell you why. Yesterday was okay, so. Today's been a shocker. I haven't felt well all week. Like, not only have I had the depression, last night my throat, it felt like when I was swallowing, it felt like I was swallowing big, when you get nice fresh white bread and you pull the middle out and it's like really doughy and soft. I felt like I had bits stuck in my throat. But today I've got up and I've got a bit of a cough, a bit of a nose, but I'm not feeling too bad. Sinus headache galore, but I'm used to sinus headaches. But that's the way the weather's been this week. You can't expect to be well. We go from really hot last week to cold this week. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I know I'll pull myself out of it. I know I'll be doing better next week, hopefully. I mean, I can tell you some of it is probably I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to give my boys Christmas. last year, I've only just started paying my bills every fortnight, like a payment plan, or not even so much a payment plan, because you just pay every fortnight, and then when you get a bill, you don't really get a bill, if that makes sense. But I didn't do it last year. So last year I was able to give them give them some presents under the tree. This year I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'll do it. I'll figure out a way somehow. But I'm very, very lucky. My boys understand. They realize that Christmas isn't about gifts. It's about being together as a family and being with the ones you love and that. They understand that, and they just keep saying, oh, don't worry about it, Mum. Don't worry about it, Mum. But as a mum, you do worry about it. You want to create great memories. You want to, I don't know, you do worry about it. You worry about it. But as I said, I've got some of Jarrett's. I said that in a couple of videos ago, that I'd picked some stuff up for Jarrett. But I don't know what to get Corey. He's happy, he said, with an iTunes card. Really. I don't feel that... I know that that's what he wants, that's what he's happy with, but you need a present to unwrap. You don't want to just open an envelope. So that's one of the things that's been on my mind. And it's been on my mind for a few weeks. Juggling how money and... yeah, but I'll work it out. I'll sort it. It'll get done. But, yeah. And on another thing that was bothering me. Now, look, I'm not whinging. I'm just really just using you guys as a sounding board. A bit of a gripe, but like I'm not whinging in the sense of, oh, poor pity me. I never want anyone to think that that's what I'm doing. But when you're home alone, almost, or home 24/7, basically alone 24/7, your mind, you think, and you think, and you think. And there's not much else to occupy your mind but to think. And those thoughts can lead to dark places. Like, I've tried to craft, but like the recipe book took an hour and a half. Those angels, the little ribbon angels, they take like 2 minutes each. So I know I haven't had the motivation to do any big tasks. I've got a few big ones to do on the weekend though. But look, don't get me wrong, I don't mind being on my own. I actually enjoy being on my own, but would like someone occasionally to do something with. And I've started to accept, you know, that this might be the way it is forever. And I'm fine with that in my own head. But in my own head, in saying that to myself, in believing in that myself, that, you know, I'm fine with it, I'll deal with it. There's always that little glimmer of hope, I guess, sitting in the background thinking, well, you might meet someone, you know, and the fairy tale life of happily ever after, that's fine. That's how I deal with it. But when I saw, must have been, I can't remember what day it was, but I met up with a mum that I've known like while Jarrett's was in primary school and that. And because I now have to drive to pick Jarrett up, we were in the car park together and we were talking. And something came up and I said, oh yeah, I'm going into my 4th year of being on my own. She said, oh, well, I'm going on 11 years and I haven't met anyone yet, but I've come to terms with this is the way it'll be forever, you know, and all this. And that was fine. But then my mind started playing on me. Then my mind started doing its usual self-sabotage, I guess you'd call it. And all I could think was, well, she's younger than me, because she's only like, I think she's mid-30s, if that. Like early to mid-30s. She's younger than me. She's not overweight, so she's skinny. She's not unattractive. And I kept thinking, well, I'm old, I'm fat, and I'm ugly. That is what my mind does. If she can't meet someone, how in the hell am I going to meet someone? So that's been going through my head. And I'm trying my hardest to push it out of my head and replace those negativity things with positive things. But that's what I'm saying, like, it wasn't the actual conversation that set it off. It was my own brain, myself. I was sabotaging myself, allowing myself to think like that. But it is so, so hard not to go that path, not to go down the self-criticism, self-hatred, all of that. That's when I know I've still got a long way to go with the learning to love myself, learning to accept who I am and what I am. I think I have started to, but then these things come up. I think that also translates back to the mental abuse that I suffered for so many years. I really, it goes with what I'm talking about. I really absolutely hate that saying, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. I am sorry. Names do hurt. If you are constantly bullied, called names, harassed, told you're not good enough, those names can hurt. Those names can cause you to not want to be here anymore. Those names can cause you to loathe yourself, to believe you're not worthwhile, to believe you are nothing, to believe if they're said often enough, you believe it. So it really, 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 really gets under my skin when I hear people say that, when it comes to bullying and that. Oh, you need to have a tougher skin. You hear it once, fine. But I've been hearing it constantly since I can remember the first incident of humiliation being from the time I was I think I was 3 and a half. And right through primary school, I copped it left, right and centre. I was a chunky child. I then lost all my weight when I was 10. I mean, we're talking Australian size clothing. I went from a lady size 16 at 10 at the beginning of the year to a lady size 6 just before I turned 11. I maintained that through grade 6, so when I was 11. When I was 12, I'm 5'8", 5'7", 5'8". I got down to 52 kilos. Don't know what that is in pounds, but I was skinny. And I can remember the first year of year 7, I was still being picked on. I was still being called fat. And if I wasn't being called fat, I was being called a snob for the way I spoke, because I didn't swear and I spoke properly. I was constantly bullied, even skinny, to the point that I stopped eating. Totally. I'd have liquid, clear broth during the day. I'd tell my mum I'd eaten, because I also had glandular fever in year 7 and was off school for nearly 6 months. I'd pick at dinner, not really eat it. I learned how to make it look like I was eating. So, yeah, I was very, very thin. I think I had like a 22-inch waist or something at 13. So very small. And I thought that I was fat. And then the bullying got so much, and I started to believe what they were saying. You're fat, you're fat, you're fat. So I'd go home from school and think, oh, well, I'm fat anyway, I might as well eat. So then the opposite thing happened. I put weight back on, but I became an emotional eater. I was still average, and when I was 16, but when I'm trying to think, when I was 17, I was in year 12, last year of school. My best friend passed away in the May. So from the May to the December, I put on something like 60 kilos, which I think is about 120 pounds, because all I did was eat my emotions. Now, that eating of emotions came from the bullying. I learned food comforted me. Food made me feel better. And then I'd eat the food and I wouldn't feel better. I'd be miserable again. So I'd eat more food. Now, I don't do that anymore. That is the one thing I have learnt to not do. I do not emotionally eat anymore. When he first left, I did. It was nothing for me to sit and eat 4 jam donuts, packet of chips, block of chocolate. You know, nothing, because it made me feel better. It was sweet. It was good. It made me feel better. But gradually, as I've healed, that's gone. So I don't emotionally eat anymore. I'm not going to say I don't crave chocolate. I'd love it. All I want for Christmas is a box of chocolates. Will I get it? Doubtful, because they don't buy chocolates in my family. So that's all I want for Christmas is a box of chocolates. Easy to please. I love chocolate now. And I do crave it. But I can have one. And one is more than enough. Like I'm talking, you know, those really nice Lindt balls. Especially the mango ones. The white chocolate mango. Yum. So, yeah. So when people say that saying, sticks and stones can break my bones, but names will never hurt me, I'd rather have broken bones that heal than a mind that takes a lot of work and that to heal. I've broken bones. They heal within a few. Stick a cast on it and it feels all right after a few days. I'm talking, there's stuff that goes back to primary school. I'm talking, 35 years ago, and it's still affecting me mentally now. And that is one thing I have taught my kids. You do not, under any circumstances, use words to hurt someone, because it stays, it sticks, it doesn't go away. I've also taught them you don't hit. Like, you don't pick fights with people. So there's a few things. So I went on for a total tangent because it is the bullying and that. It is the constant. And like, as I said, for 22 years, but we were together for almost 23 years. Or just over 22, like, in there. First year and a half maybe, was okay. It was good. After that, that's when it started. That's when the emotional, and he pulled strings. I don't know why I fell for it. I don't know why I stayed. I'm still trying to figure that out. So yeah, that really, I mean, I'm not going to give up on my channel. That was coming from a really low place the other day. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to try and stick myself out of this by the end of the weekend. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I want to feel the way I was the other week. I felt fantastic. But I've got to stop letting my mind do so much damage to myself. The mind is so powerful. The mind is what can make or break us. And yeah, I think there's just so much going on at the moment, like the Christmas issue, the loneliness. I think this time of year is when I notice it. You know, you get on Facebook and everyone's out partying and that, and I look at it and I think, oh, you know, I wish. And yeah, I do wish. I do. I know we shouldn't be envious of what others have. I know there are people worse off than what I am. But we're all human, and to me, while it may not seem a lot to others, to me, my issues are big for me. Just like your issues are big for you. And while we can think about the people that are worse off, we can think about people who are where we were 10 years ago, whatever. We can think about it, we can empathise and such, but we need to acknowledge our own feelings. We need to say, well, this is how I'm feeling. I would love to be out doing things. I'd love to be going to a barbecue of a Sunday or a Saturday night. I'd love to be going to a party, a Christmas party. I'd love to be being included in things. I hate being isolated, but that is my life. But I need to accept that. I need to be able to express myself and say, this is how I'm feeling. I wish I had. It doesn't make me any less sympathetic or empathetic to people that have got less. It does not make me, trying to think how to word it, what the words would be. It doesn't make me not want to give to people that need. It is just me saying, yeah, this is how I feel. And I think a lot of the time we are made to feel guilty for feeling certain ways in certain situations. And we need to not feel that guilt. We need to not feel guilty for feeling if we're sick, if we feel lousy because we've had no sleep, or we feel lousy because we've got a cold, or, you know, or we touch the kettle and we burn our finger. My finger hurts. Admit it. Open about it. My finger hurts. I burnt it. And the person you're saying it to shouldn't look at you and say, oh, you're a whinger. They should say, you know, are you okay? Because that are the only words that you really need to hear. Are you okay? Can I do anything to help? It doesn't matter what your issue is, whether it be living on the street because you've got nowhere else to go, or burning your finger. The words that need to be said to you are the same. Are you okay? Can I do anything to help? This is just my opinion. This is how I see it. And that's like, sometimes I feel like I whinge, or that you might think I'm whinging. But what it is I'm just getting out my brain thoughts that are sitting there churning over and over and over and over and over, so that I have got it out. I have said, this is how I feel. I don't expect a response. You could sit there and be saying, oh, yeah, you're talking a load of crud. Fine. You think I'm talking a load of crud? I don't really care. I've said it. And if it helps one other person, as I've said before, if one other person benefits from what I'm saying, and for me putting myself out there and just saying, this is how I think, this is what I feel, I'm happy. I'm not whinging. I am just saying how I feel. And as I said, I'm not saying that I am in a really bad situation. I am not saying there's nobody below, under, needing more than what I do. I am not saying that. I don't want handouts. I don't want sympathy. I don't want all that. I just need to say it. And to have it acknowledged that, okay, you're not alone. And that's all, you know, I don't know. It's It's really weird. It's really hard. It's things that people don't often talk about. But as I said, quite often you hear, oh, there's people worse off than you. Yeah, fine. But I am living in my situation. This is for anybody. This isn't me, just me. I'm not talking just about me. The situation you live in is what affects you. It is your story. And in your story, it needs to be acknowledged. It's not always... Now, I've experienced this. I'll say I'm feeling lousy. And I'll get back, oh, so am I. No, that's not what I want to hear. And this is why I really try not to do it. If someone says I'm feeling lousy or I'm having a, excuse the French, a shit day, I will first acknowledge what they've said. I will say, oh, why? What's wrong? What's happening? To give them that opportunity to talk, to tell me why they're having a bad day. And then after they've talked or whatever, oh yeah, know where you're coming from. Having one too. And then hopefully they'll open and be open to listen to why I'm having one. You need to stop and acknowledge other people's thoughts, feelings, emotions. If we all did that, the world would be a better place. If everyone was being listened to and heard, it would be a better place. I'm probably rambling. You're probably thinking, pardon me, you're probably thinking, what's she on? You know, where is her brain at? But that's what my chit-chats are. Start with one thing and could end up totally somewhere totally else. I don't sit here prior to getting on and jot down notes on what I'm going to talk about. It just comes straight out. I might have an idea of issues that have come up that I might want to talk about, but mainly it is I'll start talking about something that'll then lead to something else, that'll then lead to something else, which is what this has done. So hopefully you've made it to the end of this video and you haven't thought, ooh, kooky, Lulu lady. If you have. Look, I've told you I'm weird. But I class each and every one of you as my friend. And I talk to you like you're my friend. I've actually had one of my friends that I go and have coffee with comment that when she watches my videos, which she does, hi Laurel, that it's like sitting at the coffee shop opposite me, having a coffee, having a chat. So, yeah. All right, I'm going to say those words because my mouth is getting dry. I have got a drink. Back to my Pepsi Max. But I want to go and have a smoke. I'm wanting to go to bed soon, which I probably will. Go give my Lucy. Lucy's already in bed. I'll give my Ruby some love. I was crying at the back before and she came up and got on my knee. And as she got up on my knee, one paw went here, one paw went here, and her head went here. So, and then when I was crying and she felt the tears, she started licking my face. And then I just looked at her face and I melted and I cried more because she's so beautiful. So I'm not on my own. I have got my pets. And my Ruby is very, very lovable. Pain in the bum, but lovable. So I'm going to say those words. I really hope you're having a great week. Even though here it is Friday night again. So yeah, I hope you've had or are having a great week. And your weekend is fabulous. As I said, I'm going to be doing some Happy Mail and getting it out hopefully by Wednesday. Be doing Hobby Doc Bay's entry and I'll do a VR for that. Christine Harris, I have checked the tracking and your parcel is in the US. It's in Los Angeles. Don't know how it got there Thursday. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to talk about. It got there Thursday, so you should get it real soon. I've never had issues with my mail going overseas. It's always been, even if I posted on a Friday, it's always been there by the following Thursday. Always. Always. Went to the post office, which is meant to be a big one in this area. Go to local shops, Water Gardens, Taylor's Lakes, whatever you want to call it. And I posted 2 weeks in, no, not 2 weeks in a row. Yes, 2 weeks in a row. On a Friday morning, I posted parcels. It didn't leave Taylor's Lakes until Monday, which means I could have gone in Monday morning and posted it, and it got there at the same time. So I'm really not happy, and I'm going to lodge a complaint. Because every other parcel apart from those two, one was at another shop up, another shopping centre not far from me in Caroline Springs. That was there within the 5 days, 6 days. The rest I've posted from the, itchy. The little post office near Mum's, which is like just a post office in a newsagent's. I've posted the stuff from there on a Friday, and when you track it, you can see where it's at, and it's either gone through the Melbourne Exchange Depot, whatever you want to call it, either Saturday night or Sunday, and it's in the States by Monday. So I will not be posting anything from my post office again, because that is just rubbish. It says, because they show you the computer screen, oh, what do you want to pay? And I pick the track, $24 or whatever it is for the under 500 grams. And it says 5 days. Well, I'm sorry, 5 days to me is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I would expect that parcel to arrive no later than the Friday, which would then be 7 days. But if your parcel isn't leaving till Monday, then you lose 3 days. So you've got to add 3 days to the other end. Just a gripe. That is a whinge. That is a gripe. That is Australia Post. I am not happy. Now I'm going to say those words. I hope you're healthy, happy, and having fun, and I'll catch you soon. Bye for now.